from that. So I'm looking forward.
Got it.
What's happening?
I just started recording.
Yeah.
I loved how they did the new format with the body workouts, because I felt like that was like, we can't be together, but that was like as close as we could get. And I think they did a really good job with that.
I don't know how they did it, but I felt like, so I was in Autumn's podcast for the
nice.
and it was, I'm telling you, it was off the hook. Like, you don't even know, until you're on that podcast. I felt like I was trying out for her next program. Like,
I wonder slow down now.
In it. Like, I'm like, she's looking at me and they're gonna pick me. Like,
I wondered how that works.
And that's the thing though, like you could be the one on the screen. Like we saw Steph Burgos when we were working out. So you could very well be the one. Like you have to just keep, like, what better way to leave it all on the freaking floor, you know?
Well, so I think when Body comes out, there are like two options where you can choose to possibly be one of them, and there's a certain number, and then you're just like us where we were watching it.
Yeah.
So for Summit, I think like super workout were elite trainers. And I think that last day where they did like every 30 minutes, I believe those were coaches who earned them different ways.
Angela did.
Yeah, because we had two coaches on our team,
but I got it
too
somehow. But it was like, I don't think I pushed myself that hard since I was in person, like working out with everybody last Summit. Like, really, I mean, you kind of don't realize until it, like, you know what it's like working out with people. Like, remember working out with people? Like, that's what I was spent, and it felt so freaking good. It felt like what it felt like doing the super workout with everybody. Like, it's going to change the game. It's just going to change everything. I can't even stress it enough. I hope everybody has a Nutrition Plus membership.
I just signed up 2 days ago just because of that.
I was just going to say, on that note, can we segue into talking about the beta test group? Does everybody know that you need to have Nutrition Plus now in order to be part of the test group, the beta test group for Body? Take it away.
Yes.
Angela, keep going.
Listen, I've been a Nutrition Plus member since it started. Like, I haven't ever, like, I think it was the Master Coach thing, and then it transferred to Nutrition Plus, and now it's becoming Body. I have done it always. And this actually can tie in a little bit to what I'm going to talk about with the Beachbody Challenge, because there are so many incredible resources that are going to help your customers and your clients that are available that they don't even know are there, right? And do we want to just get into that, I guess, since I'm going to talk to you guys about the Beachbody Challenge. Did you guys catch the Beachbody Challenge during the summit? Did you guys watch the celebration? Anybody?
Yep.
A little bit, yeah. I have to say, so I guess some of you, probably none of you know me, Harley. Carrie does.
I do.
I've been a coach for 7.5 years. And I have never missed a summit. And I think one of the biggest wake-up calls for me when I attended my first summit was seeing that live, seeing that presentation, and that the prize given, and the stories of all these finalists, and like just seeing like what a difference we make as coaches in the lives of these people who oftentimes in these stories, they've come an incredible long way in their journey, and they are regular everyday people. And that was something that attracted me to coaching since the very beginning. And I know that my first experience with Beachbody, I actually didn't have a coach, but I was like, I knew there was something bigger. There was something more. I wanted more of that. And that's when I started looking into the coaching opportunity, because I was like, I don't know what this is. It's sort of how I feel about Body right now, you guys. Like, I'm like, people don't know, like, they don't even know yet, but like, it's about to, like, people just don't even know what's coming, but this is amazing. So when I realized that, okay, I was doing this at home by myself, but there's so much more to this, I knew that an online community was going to be the game changer that was going to be to help people big time. And when I saw that in person at Summit, it's the thing that kind of locked it in for me. This was going to be the thing that was going to help me really find the joy in the hard part of this business, which is being consistent and doing all of these, the mundane activities that you have to do, even in your own journey. But as a coach, not a lot of us are super excited about some of these really basic, mundane things that we are, trying to develop as habits and really overcoming all of these obstacles. But for me, the way that I am able to do that is to really master that, is to get excited about the journey of almost becoming obsessed with helping people submit their Beachbody challenge to get their t-shirt. So I think it's so important for everybody to have an experience that is going to create a personal self-empowerment and like this visceral, life-changing experience. So I take it upon myself as a coach to really step up and be exceptional in how I want to provide my challengers and my customers with their experience with Beachbody, because I'm sure you all have experienced the same thing, that somebody may have not had such a good experience with Beachbody or with a different coach, or maybe they had a DVD from 5 or 10 years ago and they think that they know, but they don't. So it's become my mission to really help empower people with these tools and provide something that's exciting for them to submit their t-shirts and to celebrate it. So I'm just going to share my screen just a little bit because I want to kind of give you a picture of what I'm talking about. And I'm going to be really brief because these ladies have awesome things to cover. Everything is always slow on Zoom. So as I just said, like I became obsessed with the Beachbody Challenge submissions. I don't know why it's not expanding. So back up, 7.5 years as a coach, and I probably have like 85 or 90 months of Success Club. But that is only the beginning part of what I believe. Like I'm now sort of, I'm going backwards in my thing. I like helping people submit the results. So to me, I know that we spend so much time being like hitting Success Club and all of these things that go into hitting Success Club. I feel like that's the work. But to me, I'm like, okay, now you're in the door. So now we're going to do what it is that we do as coaches. It's the bread and butter. So when I don't want to say I get disheartened, but when coaches don't really know what the Beachbody Challenge is, or they don't pay attention to the Beachbody Challenge, I really feel like they're missing something really huge. So this here is Erica. I wanted to bring her to your attention because she is a coach on my team and she is a challenger in our group. And I brought this up about the Nutrition Plus membership because part of what I'm doing with my challengers now is offering more of like a one-on-one message pod opportunity to have a nutrition focused place for our challengers to really dial in their nutrition and talk more about nutrition. Erica has obviously, this isn't a 30-day transformation, but she's lost 137 pounds. And she's somebody in our community who I really love to brag about to the new people that is starting, because it's one thing to see a success story on the Beachbody boards or even on the BOD when you're setting up your BOD group of people you don't know. But when somebody gets introduced to your community and they see somebody that they recognize and then they get to see the transformation that they've experienced, that really helps inspire them to go for something because they start to get to know them. And I can see this happening with the other ladies who are in this message pod with her right now. They're really looking up to her and they're really inspired by her results. So what I do with my customers that I've started doing just recently is I created something that I can share that's duplicatable and that's a little bit more automated, with my new customers that explains what the Beachbody Challenge is and to help them to get excited about it. And I'm just going to show you what this is. I just created this, I have this little orientation where I take people through helping them get started. And it's just this email that explains what the Beachbody Challenge is. And I tell them that I pride myself on how many of us that I help to earn these free completion t-shirts. So I just explain how it works. It's super simple because I explain the pillars of success to them the previous days of putting together their fitness and their nutrition and their support. I explain what it is. And then I brag up Erica because she is absolutely incredible. And this is what her testimonial about her journey. And then I'm asking them to take on the Beachbody Challenge. And currently, because we're starting 6:45, they have an opportunity to then kind of dive in specifically with that. But if not, I'm asking them to reply back to me to tell me what program they would like to focus on. And that starts the dialogue of asking them, because what we're going to be doing is, I know that you think that you finished your inviting when you got them into your challenge group, but now you almost have to invite them to take on the Beachbody Challenge, because this is something that requires a commitment from people. If you really want them to really get the most out of their experience and their transformation and to be really proud of it, you have to ask for the commitment. And this really empowers your challengers because you're excited about it and you're in their corner. Like, I'm telling them that I pride myself on how many women I can help to earn their free tanks and their free t-shirt. So it gets them on board. And as Alita likes to say, like, it's the buy-in that they're getting to contribute to something bigger. And that it, because, you know, we can all just sort of be like, oh, did you submit your results? Or like, oh, you have amazing results, you should submit them, sort of after the fact. But what I've really loved doing is really putting it at the very beginning of explaining what it is and then asking them to commit to it. And this was something that sort of began the community that I created was when MM100 began. I really got a big buy-in on getting that commitment. So my community was based on the idea of getting 100 women together to commit to that program together from start to finish. And these were some of the women that committed in the beginning, and we all signed it. It was just something that we did together as a community that became the foundation of how we run our community today. And this I just had to add because during the pandemic, nobody could like be around each other. And so these are three girls these are a couple of girls who I get on a virtual gym with every morning. And we earned our 9-week control weight free tank. And then as a joke, I was like, send me your pictures because I'm going to like put us together in a gym when we couldn't actually be together in a gym. So the action items that I want to bring to you today is, first of all, a little bit of a gut check. When was the last tank or t-shirt that you earned as a coach? And there's no shame in this. It's something that you sort of want to up level for yourself, and you want to make that commitment to yourself and say that I want to step up and I want to commit to a program and commit to submitting to the Beachbody Challenge and lead your group to do the same. So in the chat, I'm going to ask you to like even just type it out. Like on August 2nd, I commit to 6:45 and submitting my results when you're finished, or whatever that is. Maybe it's a little bit whatever your start date is. And this is kind of cool. I don't know if you noticed this or not, but you do get an email every month from Beachbody. It's from Team Beachbody, and the subject is congratulations to your coaches. And it's going to show you any successes that your coaches have and also your customers. So every month there's an email, and you can even go back for the beginning of the year and just count how many submissions you've had from your customers and your coaches. And then set a goal because we're really only halfway through the year. We have this incredible program starting, and set a goal to maybe double that to the end of the year, especially with a program like 6:45. That takes a commitment, and you can really get a big buy-in when you have groups committing to a big thing together, like we did with MM100. Okay, I don't want to go on too long, but that was sort of it, about just getting the buy-in, really creating the energy and stepping up in a way that you're showing up with excitement about the Beachbody Challenge and something that you want the energy to be and to celebrate your people. Other things that I like to do is when people submit their results, obviously it's an opportunity to celebrate them, but that's just the day they submitted it. Then there's an email that you get that they did it, and then they get it in the mail like a month later. So there's like 3 opportunities to celebrate them and to make them show it off in the group. So there's all kinds of, and you can be doing this on your stories. You can be sharing all about this. These are opportunities for recognition as well. And so just be all about it, like be all in and be here for it. Like to me, I believe the bread and butter is the Beachbody Challenge. And that's kind of what we do as coaches, is to help people get results. So.
You know, what I think is really, thank you so much for that. Like Angela and I talked about this yesterday, and I was like, I can't even believe that I haven't been leading with this. Like, holy shitballs. Like, why have I been missing this essential buy-in component? And when you think about it, our Beachbody Challenge is so complex and so much different than every other challenge that's out there, in that the weight of their actual submission is based on their stories.
Mm-hmm.
It's based on the actual, like the emotional transformation, the story, where they came from and where they've gotten to, based on using the tools that Beachbody provides to get them to that point. And as we sat there talking about that yesterday, I kept getting these truth bumps, and I kept getting drawn back to, like, I've been sharing about this for so many years that sometimes you get in the hamster wheel and you are going through the motions of doing it and not really remembering why you're using what you're using, why you're doing what you're doing, and just how far you've really come from when you started. And I think going back and watching that Beachbody Challenge, I challenge you, if you have not watched the stories of the 2 winners, at least bare minimum, the 2 winners, after this call, watch them, because it really brings you back to the story and the power of what's in the box. Remember,
Yes.
what's in the box. Like, this is, and Jackie Taylor posted about it today, this is a lifeline for a lot of people. This is their hope. This is their opportunity, when so much, especially right now in the world, is completely upside down. Like, I'm more excited about everything right now than I feel like I've been in a really long time. I think it's pretty obvious.
And just a few tips, if you do get a challenger who is like Erica, and I'm not actually Erica's coach, I'm like her great grandma coach, but like, I'm so invested in her story and in her journey that I'm like, Erica, let's talk. Like, so I have her submitting every month now, because that's what you do. To be considered a finalist, you need to get their attention and you need to be submitting often. So if you do get somebody who's, you know, getting going, it's not just like, oh, I did this one program and I had great results. That's awesome. But for, you know, to really get into the running for that final Beachbody Challenge potential, there's all sorts of things that they weigh and they put points on, but the story is it. And that gets developed through the course of doing program after program after program after program, and month after month after month. So that is everything. So every month, you know,
there's $500 cash prizes every month.
Yeah.
And you can enter every month. Like, the only time that I ever submitted my results, the one time I didn't win the cash, but it was on the front page of their thing. But I had a client who won the $500 cash. Why am I not leading with this? How did I forget? Like, thank you for bringing this back to the forefront of, like, what is our mission? This is it.
It gets me excited, right? Like, and that's what I said, like, a lot of this is mundane, right? And especially if you've been around this long, it's like, you know, you run challenge groups, and you have to find the joy in that by being and bringing the energy that makes you excited, right? So to me, that's everything. So why else would I be excited? I want to change lives, and I want there to be, to me, when I see these women committing to their journey and getting that tank top, to me, that's like success club. To me, it's like, there's my success club. Like, it's not, they got their challenge pack. It's like, they saw it through. They started something and they completed it from start to finish, regardless of what the results are. Like that's everything for people, especially right now. Everybody needs these wins.
And it is so important. And like you and Alita mentioned, I feel like after you've been in this for so long, you do start to go through the motions and you completely forget about it. Because I do the programs start to finish. I don't send my results in either.
Right.
I can't remember the last time I did. And I think the only reasons I was in 2 test groups, and I think those were my results. Maybe Body Beast, when Body Beast first came out, I think I might have sent those results in. But it's a really good reminder. And I don't know why so many of us just forget about it.
I think another contributing factor to us forgetting about it, for those of us who've been in this so long, is they stopped doing those program specific rewards about 3 years ago. And now, as of last summer, they're starting to do them again. And so it's another incentive. Because I mean, how much does a shirt at Target cost? That's what I've always told my challengers. Is how much does a shirt at Target cost? So your challenge pack is your investment, and then you're going to get this amount of money back as a prize, or just a completion prize for doing it, is like another way to talk about it.
And people like gifts.
Yeah.
I mean, if you've ever learned about the love languages, there are definitely people who gifts are their love language.
Yeah, I have one girl who this year has submitted a couple of times, and I know what you're saying about the shirt specific thing, but they did change that again. So now if it's VIP early access, you get a program specific one. So that's another like advantage of the VIP early access. It's like, I want to collect my Control Freak and my Let's Get Up and my 645 and, you know, so.
Yeah, they gave them a deadline. So you kind of have to have early
Yeah.
access. So it's like a double.
And she got her medal for like Breakaway. They still have some left, by the way. She just got it like last week.
That's good to know too.
Yeah.
All right, do you guys want me to go ahead and take over?
Yes, go ahead.
So I'm going to be talking about something to help you get intentional with your posting. And so if you listen to any of the summit calls, you may have noticed that they talked about the color wheel a lot. And they didn't really mention what it was. So I want to go over what the color wheel is, how to make it help you and help your business, and how to use it to attract the people that you want to attract, and to figure out how to add value. And so if you're ever sitting there at your computer one day and you're like, I have no idea what to post, this is going to help you. And it's also going to help you get more intentional with your posting as well. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. And of course, there's like a million things that just popped up. Okay. Let me move you guys over and move this chat. So this is the color wheel. If you're in my coach group, I posted it under the call picture tonight. If you are in Alita's coach group, she can get you this picture too. I think she might have already posted it as well. But this, what we want you guys to do, we want this call to be as interactive and action-based as possible. So I want you to pull out your phone or a piece of paper, a notepad, anything. And basically what you're doing is you are describing things about you and ways you can add value and ways that make you different from everybody else. So I think what a lot of coaches do when they're new is they think, I have to be all about coaching and I have to share workouts, food, and my Shakeology selfie with my shaker cup. And we see that so often, and it doesn't make people stick out. It doesn't make people attracted to you, and they don't know what you have to offer. So what the color wheel is it's basically taking who you are and what makes you you and what makes you unique, and then putting it in one spot. So if you are a mom of twins, if you have struggled with infertility, if you have, a specific dog, if you like, specific food or colors or into different sports, all of that is going to go on your color wheel. So I'm going to share mine just to give you guys some ideas. The more you do this, the more it will help you. And this is also going to be changing as your seasons change. Do you need me to make that a little bit bigger? So this is also going to be changing as the seasons of your life change as well. So for me, when I've updated this a little bit, but I could still probably go a little bit farther. So for me, I've got Bettis, who's sitting right next to me. I am divorced, single, and dating. So I share dating stories. I have no kids. I'm a former esthetician. This is still on here, but I really don't post about it. So I need something to put in there. I don't like cooking. I don't find joy in it. I wish I did. I do a lot of PD. I have ADHD. My newest thing is smuggling avocado pits from different countries home in my makeup bags and growing them in my closet. And I now have my entire workout room is filled with avocado plants. So I've been documenting all of that. I am a Pisces and I post things about Mercury in retrograde and full moons. I am a little bit of ish everything. And I'm probably going to put the sober ish to the paleo ish. So I'm paleo ish, high fat ish, dairy free ish, sober ish. Like it's all about balance. So those are my goals, but I'm not always anywhere near there. And then I travel a lot, especially internationally in beaches. And this has actually been really great because of Beachbody, because Beachbody's been able to give me that freedom. I do work as a full-time coach. Next month, I'm going to Ecuador and I'll be working in Ecuador for the entire month. I was in Mexico for an entire month last month. I was in Costa Rica for half of March. And coaching has been able to afford that life to me because I can work from anywhere. So while I'm traveling, one of the things I'm also going to be posting about is how I'm working out while I'm traveling, because sometimes I have access to gyms. When I'm in Latin America, I usually don't. Ecuador is going to be the most interesting because my place is the size of a closet. And I'm not even sure how well my Wi-Fi is going to be. I should have good Wi-Fi, but it's going to get interesting. So I'm going to be sharing how to work out while traveling, because so many people just think too, like, I'm traveling, I'm on vacation, and so all bets go out the window. And so I'm sharing how you can still maintain it in your life. So all of these are ways I can share my life. And so then I want you to take the top ones that are like your main ones, and then think of how you can add value. And you can even go as far as then making a couple different sections on this, or like a note on your phone, and then just putting other different little things that you can put. So for like simple meal prep, if you go to my Instagram right now, you will see I'm really big on Trader Joe's because they have the freezer section and you just throw everything in a skillet. Like if it can go in a skillet and I can cook it in 5 minutes, I'm going to eat it. So I share about that. I have a picture on my phone that I took at Target today because I'm dairy free ish. And so it's dairy free salad dressing, because a lot of people try to follow dairy free as well. And then will come to me for questions or advice about that. But you can, if you go through my Instagram within the last 24 hours, you can see quite a bit of this. So you'll be able to see the food prep and me taking this big bag of vegetables and pasta stuff from Target and dumping it all in a skillet. You'll be able to see a post about ADHD and how I'm doing time management with it. What else is on there? Oh, I have a video about plants because right now I'm dealing with fungus gnats that are driving me crazy. So I'm like constantly running around with these like yellow pieces of sticky paper killing fungus gnats. Next week, I'm going to be talking more about the dating because I did meet a guy on Tinder when I was in Costa Rica, and he's going to be in town next week. So that will be my topic that week. There's also an invite to my challenge group. And so I'm constantly trying to be intentional with my posts. So instead of just posting a workout picture and saying like, did my workout, here's my sweaty selfie, I talk about how I was feeling during the workout. I always like to ask myself, so what? So like if I go to post something, so what? Why would somebody care? What value is somebody getting out of this? So if it's a workout picture or a workout video, I try to explain like a move or a modifier. Like I have jacked up shoulders. So like I'll show some different modifications for things. I will talk about in like my challenge groups. And so today I hopped in my group chat and said, hey, I'm going to work out at 5 o'clock. Does anybody want to hop on with me? And 2 people were on. And then one of them even had her son on. Actually, she's on the call. Sarah's on here. And so like, you're never alone. And so I'm sharing things like that. And I'm just sharing not only what I'm doing, but adding value along the way as well. Oh, I see the chat popping up. Yeah, and so with the color wheel, Angela just said she needs to do a brainstorm with it. It's always going to be evolving. So that's another reason I like to keep it in Canvas, or Canva, is because you can edit it very easily and then keep coming back to it and, you know, figuring out like how to post. And like I said, I have a couple things on here that I do need to switch. It's also good sometimes because sometimes it's so hard to see our lives because we're in it and we think our lives are boring and we think we have nothing to offer. And so it's really good to ask either friends or other coaches or other teammates to kind of brainstorm together so you guys can work together. And I'm actually going to ask like Alita and Angela later and my coaches too, what they see, like when they come to my posts and they see like what value do they get from that. And the more you do this, you'll start to get tagged in stuff by other people. And that's when you know that you're doing it right. I will have people share dating stories with me, Mercury in retrograde. I get tagged in stuff all the time. I have people sharing avocado growing videos with me now. ADHD stuff I get tagged in all the time. So people start to get that feel of who you are, and that's what they connect to. And then once they do that, they get to really have a feel for you and they get that know, like, and trust factor with you. And so when you do post a challenge group invite or a coaching invite, that is when you're the person that they remember. And that's when you are the person that they come to. Yeah, we can each give you the wheel. It definitely helps. And we have the screen. Oh my gosh, my computer's heating up already. I can hear it. And we both have the blank one for you. So I want you guys to really like start brainstorming. I would love for you to share them because I think too, the more that we share them with each other, it, like anything with coaching, the more you share, the more it helps other people and other coaches. And then the more they can help you in return. I love that that's the way that the entire Beachbody community basically works. You know, it's not a competition. And so the more that you share, you can look at somebody else's and be like, oh, I kind of do that too. Or, oh, that's a really good idea. I never thought of that. Also, I want, as I mentioned, you know, getting a little bit more intentional with your posts. It's also getting intentional with posting about coaching. And I can stop the share for this one. It's also getting intentional about posting about coaching as well. Because so many times we talk about, you know, I'm a coach, but you don't really talk about like what's involved or what it's like. So calls like this are really great because you can take a picture, post it on social media, and you can hit so many objections with it. You can talk about how, you know, you are a busy mom, you're working full time, and here you are getting on this call, making it happen, filling in, you know, your time pockets to be able to build your business. You can talk about the vision you have with your business. You can talk about, you know, Angela's challenger who lost 139 pounds, like 139 pounds. Like talk about that and how inspiring that is. Talk about other coaches that are on the call with you. Talk about the different things that are inspiring you. And you can hit so many different pain points. You can hit so many, you know, time management is a great one. When people say, I could never be a coach, I wouldn't know what to do. This is the training that we have to offer. This is the support system. This is everything that you have once you become a coach. And so it's a really great opportunity to be able to share that. Yeah, and Alita, you know, just said all across the country, all in different time zones. And we really are. And it's connecting people, especially with the pandemic this last year. This is what kept us connected and not completely isolated. We still had community. We were already using Zoom, so that wasn't new to us, but we had the community, we had the Facebook groups, whether it was a coach group or a challenge group or a combination of both. We had those people. And so we weren't as isolated as the majority of people were. So that's another one of your assignments tonight, is to at some point take a picture of the Zoom, either if it's yourself watching the Zoom or if it is of the actual computer screen. Tag your coaches, tag us. We want to see it too, but share something. Don't just say, I'm on a coach call. Does it pass the so what test? why would somebody want to know? Are you inspiring them? Are you educating them? Are you hitting objections? And so you really want to ask yourself that.
I think that's a perfect segue. I was just taking notes, like action items for after the call. Like I want to put in the team page, here's a color wheel as for tonight, drop your color wheels below so that we can feed off of that. But I think also after the team call, we have a screenshot of this. We can put a screenshot up in our respective team pages and just say, like, drop below all of the myth busters. Like, what are the things that are debunked just by showing up on a call like this? Like we talked about, so that we all have, oh, Grace, you're sending that direct to me. Sorry, put that back to everyone. But yeah, we can, like, Julie, after that call for the super workout that we did, I never even thought about it, guys. And this is how sometimes it becomes just like we're going through the motions. You don't think about it. I was like, oh, we did this workout, and I was just going to be like, awesome workout. And then I was like, Julie posted, and she was like, we had so many excuses not to show up tonight. And she thought about each person, and she was like, okay, this person was hungover. This person had a sore back. This person had a broken toe. This person was up all night with the baby. This person. And I was like, damn, girl, like that right there, like, does it pass the so what test? And that segues nicely into what I wanted to talk about.
And just real quick, the more you do it, the more you get used to it. And so at first, I mean, even if you take like a little, like my sticky right here, it says, what are you doing to move your business forward today? And this is usually right on my computer as a reminder. What action steps am I doing today? It's not scrolling Instagram, like what actual action steps, what things are going to move my business. So even if it's taking like a little post-it note and putting it somewhere and just saying, so what, or saying, be intentional, or, whatever is going to remind you when you see that, like, if it's a wallpaper on your phone that just says, be intentional. And the more you do it, the more it just becomes second nature and second habit. And the more you start to like, your brain thinks that way. And so it just starts to happen automatic.
Yeah, you started doing it like last week with all of your, couple weeks ago, I guess, with all of your stuff. And I started really picking up on it. You were like, I need to be more intentional. And I keep thinking about being intentional, but when I think about the message that I want to send, sometimes I think there's benefit to watching what other coaches are sharing as well, as long as you're not shooting on yourself and crushing your own spirit at the same time. But when you see someone, you're like, oh, wow, like, yeah, she actually makes me want to know what she's drinking. She actually makes me want to drink that. Oh, she actually makes me want to work. I was like, oh, that coach is actually inspiring me to want to do that. And so I started thinking more about that whole, like, so what? So it's one thing to post about us doing, our workout or posting, I used to just post a boomerang, like it's go time with my Energize. And now I'm thinking like, so what? Like, what does it do for you? Why are you drinking the Energize? What solution is it solving? Because ultimately no one gives a shit about what I'm drinking. They want to know if I have a tool that's going to help them create change in their life.
They need to know, what's it going to do for me?
Totally. We are essentially like solution providers. These are the tools I'm using to create this awesome life that I'm living right now. So I don't care why you're drinking that you're drinking your Energize. I want to know why you're drinking your Energize. What does Energize do for you? What does Recover do for your muscles? How does it feel afterward? Like, how does it fulfill your protein for your, a lot of people don't know that they have to eat after their workout. Does it pass the so what test? So I wanted to get out pen to paper right now, because a lot of us don't even have this on the top of our head. I want you to actually take out your pen and write down, why do you drink Energize right now?
So I keep a note on my phone.
Yeah.
And I have each of the supplements, and I have different like buzzwords, like either the nickname I'm calling it. I'm not a mom, so like the mom juice and like the go-go juice and unicorn juice, like none of that really resonated with me. And then Amala started calling it hustle juice. And I was like, oh, I like that. I'm not 100% sold on it yet. Like I just call it Energize. Like I come back, I'm from like old school coaching. I've been a coach for 9.5 years. And so I come from like the day where we weren't supposed to like talk about the names. We were supposed to make them wonder what it was and then come to us. So many people are coaches now that like the normal person knows the term, and if they're going to come to you, they're going to come to you. And if they're not, they're not. So like now I'm like, oh, Beachbody, that like I talk about it a lot more. So I have a note on my phone and it just says like, it's just little bullet points that I can just copy and paste and stick to a photo. And it's all about repetition too. I saw something the other day where it was a coach in a 5-star group. And she's like, when I got engaged, she's like, the woman that I work with in the office, did you saw the two? She's like, the woman in the office could have told my engagement story because I told it so many times to other people. She's like, that's how your coaching story is. Like, we think that if we put it out there once that everybody sees it and everybody remembers, and you have to be so repetitive with it and just keep putting it out there over and over and over, because not everybody's going to see it every time, but also not everybody is going to be in the place that they need to see it at that time. It's kind of like PD. You can read the same PD book 5 times. You're in a different place in your life every single time, and you're going to get something completely different out of it every single time you listen to it.
Totally. And Julia, when I watched you do that with your those buzzwords, so writing things down, like what does Shakeology do for you? What are the different kinds of things in it? Keep that copy and pasted into your notes. The same as like, what are the active ingredients in like, this has beta alanine and it's the active ingredient because it doesn't have artificial sweeteners, and people want to know that stuff. And so that repetition with those things, same as I posted about collagen actually today, because people still think that I'm going to get my nails done. And I'm like, dude, no, these are mine. These are my nails. They're so long.
I saw somebody post about focused energy
I just got some.
I have it and I am just starting again to use it because I finally stopped. So I was on these ADD meds. Hell, I'm super sensitive to everything. And so like caffeine, I can't do at all. I can do Energize because it's such a small amount, and the tingles that you get from Energize aren't actually from caffeine. They're from the word I can't pronounce, but it's in my phone in my notes. So I can copy and paste it.
Quercetin.
Yeah, the one that makes it yellow. And so I was on these meds and it was just horrible. And so I'm a week and a half off. So I was one of the excuse people on the super workout because the meds made me really dizzy, and it was almost better, but then like certain things would like spark it again. And the cardio parts at the end of that super workout, I was like, whoa. But somebody had mentioned Focus Energy and I have it and I've been using it again. And I'm like, we have lion's mane, we have like all these things that people want and need, and we just don't even realize what we have right in front of our faces.
Totally. And so just getting into the habit of asking yourself the question, like, why am I even doing this? Why am I sharing about it? What solution can it possibly solve for anybody else? Because at the end of the day, unless it has a purpose for them, they really don't care. And I loved what you said, Julie, that ties in with the color wheel and people getting to know you. They start to recognize who you are and what you stand for. And Julie's a cat girl and always was known as the cat girl. I became known as, it was wine. I was getting tagged in everything wine stories, wine memes, wine advent calendars, like everything you could imagine.
And that's a good point that you bring that up because it evolves. I was vegan for 7 years. I started my business. My business blew up because I wasn't an asshole vegan. And if you know any vegans in your life, I was a vegan for 7 years, so I can say it. They can be the most amazing people. They can also be the most judgmental people. And I was the vegan who I would meet you where you were. If you wanted to do a meat-free Monday, great. I would give you all of my resources. I wouldn't tell you that it wasn't enough. If you wanted to go dairy-free, like I was your go-to person. And so people felt comfortable with me because of that, but that's evolved and I'm not vegan anymore. I've actually gone like about as opposite as you could get, but like it does change. So don't feel like like if you pick something and put it on your color wheel that you're stuck with it, because you're not.
Totally. It evolves so much. 100% so much. I don't drink at all anymore. So and that's actually,
Test group.
that's actually,
So for those that don't know,
really-
Alita and I were in the 80-day obsession test group together. And that was
Yeah.
like we got chosen. It was the middle of summer, 3 months. And we're like, well, there goes our summer. And now we can't drink. And we're both like, what are we going to do? Like, but you can't say no to.
I was mad. I was mad. I was angry. I was so honored. We were literally driving home from Coach Summit. I had just spoken on the stage. Like the one thing after my first summit, I was in the nosebleeds, the very top. I actually had vertigo because the floors from combat that morning, that was my program that got me in love with it. Anyways, the floors, the whole room felt like it was caving in when you have that many people working out in a hotel. And I had sitting at the top of the nosebleeds, like vertigo. I ended up having to go for IV fluids and stuff in Vegas. But I remember watching them cross that stage and thinking, one day I'm going to do that. And so coming home from that and having my invitation to join that test group, having just walked on that stage, and I was like on this biggest high, and then I was like, you're going to fucking ruin my summer? Like, I chose to coach so that I could work on my own time. I chose to work out from home so that I could do it at my own time. And now I have to do it live with Autumn every day. And I have to quit drinking. I have never committed to a nutrition plan ever before. And I'll never forget when Amy Silverman in our test group said, all you guys bitching, moaning, and complaining, saying like, oh, finally, this is an excuse for me to quit drinking. Why don't you just quit for good? And I was like, bitch, please. I was like, and I did it. It crossed my mind and I never stopped. Like that was years ago. I think it's almost 3 or 4 years or something.
3.5 years.
Haven't touched a drop of alcohol.
No, yeah, it'll be 4.
Yeah. Isn't that crazy? I don't know. I'll check I have a thing, an app.
We're 9 days away from 4 years.
Oh my God. So it's almost my 4-year anniversary.
So they told us nothing about the test group. They actually called it, ironically, ADD because it was 80 day. And so we were told it was ADD workout, and they sent us these stupid little loops. And I was like, I had just gone through a breakup from hell. Like I'd been married for 12 years, my divorce, totally fine. My ex-husband's a great guy, we get along fine. Dated a guy for a year after that. Breakup from hell. And after the breakup, I got back on track, lost 10 pounds. I was feeling really good. And I was like starting to put like muscle back on. I'm a weight girl. And then I get these little loops in the mail, and I'm like, if I have to do some stupid little girl workout for 3 months and not drink and lose my summer, I'm like, I'm gonna be mad. And then it ended up kicking our asses. It was nothing what we expected.
It was amazing. But that, like, now the number of people who were following me then, some of those people have never been clients of mine, and they're reaching out now. And you know what's cool is because of my alcohol, and when they were part of following me and sharing all the alcohol stuff, now they want to quit and they want to be part of my fitness. And so now I have this massive tribe of like sober sisters who used to be my like late night, couldn't get up for our morning workout hangover sisters. Like it's just such a cool evolution, and speaks to the importance of revisiting your own story, revisiting the season that you're in, and being truly authentic to where you are in your life, and speaking to the colors of your life. Using, when you're going to a doctor's appointment, or you're out with your kids and you have a talk with them and you're teaching them something. These are all things that can connect you to other parents, that can connect you to other dog moms, that can connect you to other plant killers, that can connect you to other Mercury in retrograde, woo-woo, whatever it is that you are, whatever it is that you do, whatever it is that is part of who you are, is what's going to attract people to you. It's not what we sell, it's what we're about, and our energy, how we show up every day is what matters the most. I have a really close friend who actually videotaped my second daughter's birth, and was like, we've been so close through all the different provinces and moves and everything, and I didn't even realize when you make a difference in their life, they know everything about you. Like I just spent a day at the water slides with her, and she actually inspired me and was the person who inspired me to start my health and fitness journey, because she was introducing me to these. I'll never forget the day that I just saw her with it's like a bowl, and it had carrots and corn and quinoa. And I was like, that looks so simple, and avocado. And I was like, you make it look so easy to be healthy. And I remember seeing the lines on her arms, and I thought, and I was bigger at the time. I was like 45 pounds heavier. And I thought, like, I just want to be comfortable in my skin. And like, I aspire to be like you. And so it was really cool to come when she was here. And I didn't even realize how closely she had followed me for so long. And she knew everything about my life. I feel like I almost felt inundated with questions and like, how is it going with this? And how is it I was like, I felt she made me feel like sometimes we don't know the impact that we have, and the difference that we can make. I have for a really long time felt like I was lost and I wasn't making a difference at all. And to know, like, I came away from that and I felt like an influencer. Like the way that she talked about me, I was like, that was a really, really cool moment to bleed belief back into me. And that speaks to, again, the power of this community. It's not necessarily what our challengers are getting from us, but also what we're getting from them and what we're learning through this. And like, what we're part of is just such an incredible thing. I hope that everybody has a chance to come away with this with some tangible action steps, and a plan of implementing something that's going to answer that question. So what? So what?
And if I could just touch on two things you just said.
Yeah.
One of the things I just picked up on was people are always watching, and it's a good reminder, because there are definitely times as a coach where you feel like you're talking to yourself, whether it's to social media, whether it's in your challenge groups, whether it's in coach groups. Like, you can feel like you're putting so much effort in and you're not getting it back. And so it can be exhausting, and you can feel like you are dragging people, or it's just not working. And people are watching. They're not always telling you they're watching, but they're definitely watching. And then also just not overthinking things and keeping things simple. Like Alita mentioned the bowl of food. It was probably something that she does that she doesn't even think of. And she just puts things together just like that. And she doesn't think that it's simple just because it comes natural to her. But to Alita, that was everything.
And remember at Summit, the description of like a very concise way to structure your posts, problem, solution, invitation, right? You can use that same formula with all of these things we just talked about. With, you mentioned the Energize and all these other products or whatever, even when you're just talking about it in your stories, it doesn't have to be about a post, like a call to action for a challenge group. But when you're doing that so what test, always think problem, solution, invitation in some way, shape, or form. Even if it's just a picture on your stories and you're typing it in, like you just said, why am I using Energize? Problem, solution, invitation. And that could just be a question, like, or some kind, right? And simple things, simple everyday things. You can use that for simple little hacks in your kitchen, like this bowl of fruit is something that makes my life easier because it was a problem when I was always reaching for a snack that was not right there. Like, do you know what I mean? Like little problem, solution, invitation, or problem, solution, poll, call to action, whatever.
I will honestly say, like, since I started changing the way that I posted in the last couple of weeks, and it was since Julie and I, since we started talking and I started watching more of your stories, and you had just started changing your stories, like it's totally changed my inbox. I have way more people who are just, I feel like they used to have more questions. Now they're just like, how do I sign up with the whole package thing that gets me all the things that you're using that, you know, and they already want it. It's already sold itself. They're just like, okay, how can I give you my money?
And I think too, in the past, like, I know me especially, but I think other coaches as well, we're afraid to we're afraid to say what we're doing. We're afraid to be like, this is going to cost you money.
Yeah.
But we have so much to offer. Like the nutrition plan alone has so much to offer. I have a friend that reached out to me the other day and she was like, she's like, have you ever heard of Noom? And I said, I've heard about it a lot this week just because it keeps popping up in like different things, but I don't know anybody doing it. And she's like, it's telling me to eat 1,200 calories to lose 13 pounds by mid-October. I'm like, that's 3 months of 1,200 calories. I'm like, if you do that, she lives on my floor where she's one of my best friends here. And like, I moved here into this building because of her. I was like, I'm going to walk down the hall and strangle you. And so she's like, I was so dizzy and I didn't know what was wrong. And she's like, I just wanted to make sure I wasn't crazy. I'm like, no, you're not crazy. I'm like, but here's a link for free for a month for Nutrition Plus. Like Nutrition Plus is amazing. And she's already done Beachbody workouts. So she knows all about those. We have so much to offer. And so I think for me, I've gotten more bold about that as well. I'm like, here's what you get. It's $160. Like that's dirt cheap. You know, I'm not going to be like, well, you could sign up for free, maybe if you want. And if you don't like it, you can get your money back. Like, I don't do any of that. Like, you're going to love it. You're going to stay on it. Sign up as a coach because you're going to want the discount next month. It makes no sense for you to pay full price if you don't have to, especially now with the preferred customer thing coming out soon. So I think I've gotten a lot more bold about that. And I think that has helped too, because people they come to me and they're not like, oh, what can you give me for free? Like, so if you're getting a lot of people that are looking for free things, you're probably promoting it as a free thing. And so when I have people come to me, I'm just like, all right, here's the link, check it out. Let me know what questions you have. And then I follow up with them.
Because you do get the free people, right? And I started realizing, obviously everybody sees things differently and everyone has a relationship with money that's different, but we know, right? Like we know the value of what's there. And then we do this whole community thing that's for free. And I have a girl who she shows up every morning on our virtual morning crew. And she like literally has said, she's like, I can't believe I'm not paying you. Like, how am I not paying you for what you do here and in that group? And I'm just like, yeah, I know. Weird. Like, it's just like, it makes me feel good that she sees this, right? So there's no question about the value that I add, right?
But you also want to get paid for your work. So
yes.
I switched something just this month, and I have always run an ongoing group for my challengers on Facebook, and it's free to anybody. They don't even need a purchase. They just need to have me be their coach to be able to join this group. And I used to do the 7 a.m. Zooms in there. I had all my challenge group posts in there. Every single day they got a post. I checked in. I was there 24/7. Meal plans, everything. What I did differently is I'm finally embracing the bod groups, mainly because Facebook hates me. And they literally deleted my entire account in October. So I had to start from scratch. And so, and they keep like dinging me. And then people think that like my new account is fake. And anyways, I'm embracing bod groups. And I posted this whole thing, and I can share with Lita so she can share with all of you guys. But I posted this whole thing just saying like, hey, everyone, next month, I'm starting something new and I'm offering 2 tiers of coaching. And I posted this in my Facebook group. And I basically said, this group is still here. It's, you can still check in. Everybody's going to be in here. The support's still going to be in here. I'll pop in from time to time. And you can stay here as long as you want. This is for anybody who is either a coach on my team. And I try to mention coaching in my challenge groups as well. This is anybody who is a coach on my team or who has ever purchased anything. And I said, for those of you who want more accountability, I'm moving over to the bod group. That's where you're now going to find the daily posts. That's where you're going to find the links for the Zoom workouts. That's where you're going to find all of my focus and energy. I'm going to be there all day long, not all day, but I'm going to be there every day, checking in, helping you guys out. And that is where my focus is going to be. I also like the bod group because it's really, really easy to track who checks in and who doesn't. And so I'm doing a leaderboard every week. Every Monday morning, I post the leaderboard, and it's 4 or more workouts a week. And then I'm slowly, because I just started this in July, I'm slowly working it up. I think I started like 4 Shakeologies a week and then 5 Shakeologies a week. And I told them I'm going to do this because a lot of people just aren't used to checking in either. And I post that leaderboard not only in my bod group, but I also post it in my Facebook group. And I say like, hey, these are the leaders. And, you know, these are the girls that are kicking ass this week. And this week I ordered a bunch of stuff. So I'm like, I'm going to send you guys all something fun. So it kind of gives them that FOMO. And I've told them, like, to be in this group, you need BOD, and you have to have some sort of supplement just to get in. And the group is for 3 months. They don't have to have it the entire 3 months. I'm not going to kick people out, but they don't know that. But yeah, so that's the requirement to get in. So I think that has helped too, because it's given people, so then the people that are in the smaller group, it's a smaller group that are all more active. So I think they're also getting more out of it too.
I have to go feed my children. They're driving me bonkers. I must. Like, you can't. Yeah, is that cool? My eyes are starting to go squinty.
You had that sun right in them too.
I'm like, but yeah. I love tonight and I love connecting with you guys. I'm just so thankful.
Me too.
Yeah.
I think it's so good to learn from each other.
Me too. Does anybody have any
Yeah.
questions? Questions? No. Julie, you'll share our recording with us.
Yes, absolutely.
We'll be awesome. Do we want to take a photo?
Yeah, let me get it on. Is anybody taking a photo yet?
Not a good one.
I don't know if it's very good.
Yeah, we didn't have everybody on. Everybody come back on. There we go. No, it's better.
Right, I got one. But that was one of your assignments, guys.
Yeah, it was.
I can't wait
Everybody's
to see.
smiling.
Because we weren't
That's
all
good.
smiling.
Yeah.
What?
We weren't all smiling.
Now it's good. Yeah.
Yeah, now we're good.
I can't wait to see what you do post for today's call and how you put it in your stories and like how you word it to either hit objections or share about coaching and share what you're doing with it.
Yeah. Everybody tag everybody. All the handles are in the thingy thing. They're all there.
All right, guys,
All right.
have a good night.
Bye.
Bye.
See ya.